Okay, Haley, I just got home from school now, and I really need to tell you something. Just checking if anyone's home. Okay, I went to the house yesterday. I was with Michaela. We were just kind of hanging out in the park, you know, and she was just like, oh, it's kind of creepy here, right? And I was like, oh, I'll show you something creepy, right? And I just kind of wanted to freak her out. So we went to the house, and as we were going to the house, she started telling me about spirits, and she was telling me that she could see spirits, and like all these stories about when she was in her old house, she would see this little boy. And you know, when people tell you stories like that, most of the time you can tell if they're lying, but I knew that she wasn't lying to me. And we were looking around, and I was telling her kind of the story that we thought of it. And she goes on to tell me that, well, okay, so we went upstairs, and she kind of just walked in and walked right out. She didn't like being up there. And then we walked downstairs. She saw the dead dog, like the fur and remains and stuff, and she was just like, oh, that's like sad. And then she saw that Ross W. Sinclair, the sign, and she was like, oh, his name's Ross? And I'm like, yeah. And she said, there's a guy named Ross at my church, and he's homeless. He lives in his van with his dog. And I'm like, are you serious? And then I looked down and I saw this book on the ground, so I picked it up, and I thought it was just going to be another church book, but I opened it up and it was a dog book. It was about like how to train your dog. And so we kind of walked around a bit more, and she was texting her mom, and she said, what's Ross's last name and stuff from church? And she came on the bus this morning, and she told me that his name's Ross W. Sinclair. So Ross is alive, and he's in Sutton, and he goes to the church. Michaela told me everything about him, as much as she could. She said that he has he looks like a regular, you know, stereotypical homeless man. He has like a big belly, not that big though. She said like it's not huge, and he has like this beard, and he looks pretty old. Michaela told me that I could meet him if we ever wanted to talk to him. So if you want to organize talking to him about stuff, we can, because he's alive. The next thing is just, you know, I thought that maybe, like, why is he homeless? Why is he still doing the things he does? He seems pretty content with what he's doing. I still think we should burn the book, but like page by page. Maybe like 1 page a day or something. Because I think sooner or later that'll make him leave the state he's in and, you know, begin to start a life. It's not that he doesn't have a life right now, but, you know, maybe he can be successful, maybe he can do something, and I think maybe the book has something to do with this. There's still some mystery to be solved.